Good morning, students. I hope you all must be fine. Class 8. Today, the topic we are going to revise is the chapter Force and Friction. This is chapter number 10, and this is the chapter of your physics. Okay, so in this chapter, first of all, I'll be going to start with the word that is force. You know what is force? Yes, any type of push or pull on any object is known as force. Whatever the push or pull we are applying on the table, on the chair, or for doing any work, we have to apply force, that we have to do push or pull. You know, this is the force, this is the thing which can be measured. Force can be measured, and SI unit for measuring force is Newton. Okay, and the symbol for Newton is N. This is a type of scalar quantity which we can measure, and the unit with which we can measure it is known as Newton. Okay, so you all understand what you mean by force and how can we measure it. Now let me tell you what are the effects of force. If we are going to apply force on any object, whether the object is a stationary or the object is in motion, when we are going to apply force on any of these things, we can do something. Some of the things can happen with these objects, which is known as the effects of force. Now let us see what are the effects of force. Number one, if you are going to apply force on a stationary object. Stationary means the object which is not moving. Okay, there is a table or chair, for example, which is kept and it is not moving. If we are going to apply force on that chair, what will happen? The stationary object will move. If we are going to apply force, what we can do? We can move an stationary object. Number two, what else we can do? We can stop. We can stop a moving object. We all play cricket, isn't it? What happened? When the batsman hit the ball, we catch the ball and we make it stop. Okay, stop the ball to go beyond the boundary. Yes, so what we can do by applying force, we can stop a moving object, we can move a stationary object. What are the other things we can do? We can change the direction of a moving object. If there is an object which is moving in a particular direction, we can apply force and we can change the direction. Let me give you another example. For example, when the batsman is doing the batting, bowler used to throw the ball in a particular direction. Batsman simply use the bat and changes the direction of the ball. What happened? Then the ball changes its direction and moves in another way. Okay, so what we can do by applying force, we can change the direction of a moving object. Yes, another thing what we can do as the what are the effects of force is we can change the speed of a moving object. By applying force, what we can do? We can also change the speed of a moving object. For example, when we are riding a bicycle, we apply the brakes. What happened? Because of that force, the speed of the cycle get reduced. Another thing, if you apply more force, okay, if you started applying more force, the speed of the cycle will increase. So in this way you can understand the force can change the speed of a moving object. Lastly, the important one, that is we can change the shape of an object by applying force. What we can do, we can change the shape of any object. So we have studied 5 important points. What are the effects of force? Number 1, we can move a stationary object. Number 2, we can stop a moving object. Number 3, we can change the direction of a moving object. Then we can change the speed of a moving object, and finally we can change the shape of an object. If we apply force on anything, take a hammer, you can understand. If you will take a hammer, you can change the shape of anything, isn't it? But don't try to do this. Okay, so these are the effects of force. Let us study more about this. Now let us move on. As we have already discussed about force, now let us study what are the different types of forces. The term force, it is divided into broadly 2 different parts. One is contact force, another is non-contact force. What is the difference between contact force and non-contact force? In case of contact force, when you apply the force, directly or indirectly, the object should come in contact. It is known as contact force. Whereas non-contact force are those forces in which it is not necessary to have a contact in between the two objects. Understand? Contact force, where there is a need to have directly or indirectly the contact between the objects. Non-contact force, there is no need of having any contact. It can be there without any contact. Let us see the examples. In case of contact force, it is further divided into 2 different types of force. One is applied force, and the second one is applied force and frictional force. These are the 2 types of contact forces. One is applied force and other is frictional force. In case of applied force, the object should come in contact directly to the hands, finger or leg like this, etc. Then in case of frictional force, it is the force it is applicable when the two surfaces come together in contact. Then only the force which is applicable is known as frictional force. Now let us discuss what are the non-contact forces. These are the forces, as I told you, there is no need for having any contact. For example, number 1 is gravitational force. Next is magnetic force. Number 3rd is electrostatic force. Non-contact forces are what? One is gravitational force, another is magnetic force, and the third one is electrostatic force. Let us see what they are. Gravitational force is the force which is applied by the earth. You remember, by the earth and everything, it used to pull towards down. Yes, whenever we used to throw anything upward, it always used to come down. Yes, this is known as gravitational force. Gravitational force. This force is actually applicable between any two objects which is having some weight, but it is visible in case of earth because it is too heavy. Let me give you more examples. The example of gravitational force is what? The first one which I have given you, whenever you throw the things up, it always comes down. It is the gravitational pull of the earth. The gravitational pull of the earth and the sun together make the earth revolve all around the sun. The earth is revolving all around the sun because of the gravitational force. The moon is moving all around the earth. This is again caused due to gravitational force. Okay. The next is magnetic force. What is magnetic force? It is the force which is applied by the magnets onto the iron objects, iron, nickel. Okay, these are some of the objects which attract towards the magnet when the magnet comes closer to them. Another thing, magnet used to attract another magnet. So these are the forces where there is no need of having any contact. What is the contact between this chalk and the earth? No contact, but still whenever I used to throw this chalk upward, it always used to come down. There is no contact between the chalk and the earth, but still the gravitational force is working. Okay, likewise the magnetic force used to work from a distance. The last one is the electrostatic force. The next is electrostatic force. It is the force which is acting between the atoms and molecules and keep these very small atoms and molecules together. Okay, this is that force which keep these atoms and molecules together. You must have seen and observed when sometime when we are playing, we are using the ruler, the plastic ruler, we rub it on our hair and then we try to attract the pieces of paper. Now this is what it shows. It shows that some of the electrostatic charge get deposited onto the scale, okay, and that causes the attraction of those small pieces of paper. Okay, it is known as electrostatic force. Now out of the contact force and non-contact force, the force we are going to discuss in detail is frictional force. Now what is frictional force? As I told you, it is the force which come into existence when the two surfaces come in contact with each other and one out of them try to move. It is the type of resistance force, it is the type of negative force which actually give resistance or it actually try to stop the movement of any object. This is known as frictional force. Okay. Now this frictional force is depending on two important factors. There are two factors on which the frictional force depends. One is the mass of the object which try to move is actually one of the factor which increases or decreases the frictional force. Another is the nature of surface. If the two surfaces which are in contact with each other, if the surface are smooth, the friction will be less. If the surface will be rough, the frictional force will be more. So these are the two important factors on which the frictional force depends. One is the mass of the object which need to move, and other is the nature of the surface, that is whether the surface is smooth or rough. Now another thing, the factors, beside the factors, the friction force is actually again of two different types. One is known as rolling friction and sliding friction. These are the two different types of frictions there is a difference between them. The rolling friction is always comparatively less than that of the sliding friction. I can give you the example of sliding and rolling friction. Sliding friction is what? If you are having a chair in your hand, if you push it, okay, if you are pushing a chair, if you are pushing a table, the table is having a contact with the floor, okay. Because of that contact, the frictional force is there, okay. It resists the moment. You have to apply more and more force every time, okay. So that is known as sliding friction. Compared to that, if you are having a bucket, or you can take a cylinder, ठीक है. In case of cylinder, you are going to push. The cylinder used to roll. Cylinder used to roll. This is known as rolling friction, okay. As I told you, it depends on the mass of the object. If the object is very heavy, you can comparatively roll it with less force. But sliding the object by applying force is comparatively difficult. So we have to apply more force in case of sliding friction, and we have to apply less force in case of rolling friction. Again, try to remember it and try to remember the difference between rolling and sliding friction. Sliding friction, you are pushing. The example is chair and table. Rolling friction, you are going to push the ball, and the ball used to rotate. Yes, and it moves. This is known as rolling friction. So rolling friction is lesser than that of the sliding friction. Yes, now let us discuss more about the frictional force. The other important thing we are going to discuss about frictional force are the advantages. What are the advantages? What are the advantages of frictional force in our life? The most important thing in case of frictional force is that it actually helps us to walk. Without the frictional force, we are unable to walk. We cannot walk. Think about if we are going to put our feet on the ground and it gets slipped. Can you imagine, is it possible to walk when the feet are getting slipped? No, it's not possible. So we are actually walking with the help of this friction only. Now because of this friction, we are able to hold the things, we can push the things, we can pull the things. All these things we are doing with the help of frictional force, okay. So we can improve this friction, we can increase this friction, and it actually give us a better grip. You know, we are using a screw to hold the things together. We are making knots to hold the things, to hold the ropes together. All these things cannot be done without the friction. This friction actually allows the screw to hold the things together. We are using rope to hold the things together, isn't it? When the road on the roads, you have seen the cars are moving, the buses are moving, they are moving with great speed. You know, this friction actually give them a perfect hold so that they can move in a perfect direction. They can change their direction whenever they want. This happen because at the time when they are manufacturing the tires, during when they are making the tires, they make grooves, and it actually give more friction to these tires with the road, so that there should be a good grip and these automobiles should not get slip. Understand? So these are the advantages of frictional force. Now if they are having some advantages, there must be some disadvantages. Now what are the disadvantages of frictional force? Disadvantage number 1 is wear and tear effect. The wear and tear effect means what? What happened when the cars or buses are moving on the road? After some time, what happened? Their tires get damaged. we are walking with the help of shoes. After some time, that is after some months or years, what happens? Their sole get damaged. It is because of the friction. Friction causes the damaging effect, which is known as wear and tear effect. Do all you understand how do it is harmful? Okay, another thing, another disadvantage of friction is produces heat. Whenever two things slide with each other, okay, example, if you remember, during the cold winter season, we are rubbing our hands together. What happens when we rub our hands together? Our hands become hot. They become hot because of the friction. Okay, so this friction causes heat, and because of this heat, sometimes it is useful, but sometimes it is harmful also. How? Because of the continuous production of heat, the machines, the part of the machines get damaged. Because when the parts keep on rubbing with one another, so they get damaged. So this damaging effect is again caused due to the friction. Do all you understand what are the advantages and what are the disadvantages of friction? Now, as we know that advantages are good for us and disadvantages means they are not good for us, they are harmful. How can we reduce the damaging effect of this friction? So there are some ways we can use, through that we can reduce the friction. What are the ways we can reduce the friction? We can reduce, number one, by lubrication. Lubrication means putting oil onto the machine parts. Okay, we are using machines. The parts used to rub with each other. If we are going to put some oil between those parts, what will happen? The friction will be less. When the friction will be less amount of heat will produce, and that less amount of heat actually keep protecting our parts. Okay, one is lubrication, another is the usage of ball bearing. Ball bearing is a type of, you can understand, it's a type of thing where when we are using solid smooth balls between the two surface, when we are using these solid smooth balls between the two surface, it actually causes rolling type of action and reduces the friction. So when friction will be less, there will be less damage, there will be less wear and tear effect, there will be less amount of heat produced. Okay, so by using these two methods, one is lubrication and one is ball bearing, we can reduce the friction. Do all you understand this? Now let us start with the last topic of the chapter, that is motion of objects in fluid. Motion of objects in the fluid, what does it mean? When any object is moving inside a liquid. Okay, liquid, it actually not only means water, no. It's actually, we can also consider fluid as air, because air is also acting like a fluid. Okay, so whenever any object is moving inside water or air, it actually experiences a resistance in its flow. Okay, the object is unable to move very fast in the fluids, that is water and air. It is because of that resistance, which is known as drag. What is drag? Drag is that resistance which is applied by the fluids in the movement of any object. Okay, this drag actually resists the motion. उसकी स्पीड को क्या करता है? कम कर देता है. The movement of any object. Okay, how can we reduce drag? How can we reduce drag? we can reduce drag by using a special shape with these objects which are moving inside the fluids. You must have seen the shape of birds. What is the shape of birds? Yes, streamline shape. A streamline shape is that shape in which what happened? It's pointed in the front and pointed at the back. This is known as a streamline shape. You can compare this shape with the shape of birds. You can compare this shape with the shape of ship. You can compare this shape with the shape of aeroplane. Yes, we are designing the machines like aeroplane, like ship in this shape because with the help of this shape, the drag will be comparatively very less. Okay, drag means the force on the object which is moving in the fluid. So that resistance force we can reduce by making the streamlined shape of an object. Okay, by making this shape we can reduce the drag, and it can be seen in case of aeroplanes, in case of ship. So there are so many examples. Do all you understand all this? So this is the final and the last topic of this chapter. I hope that you all must be able to understand whatever I taught you. But still, if there is any query or any question you are having, you can ask with me. Okay, thank you and have a nice day.